decision and what can be done to resolve it. It comes as Trinidad wrapped up the regional symposium earlier today. Kelisha Williams tells us more.
A suggestion from Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, as he reflected on how crime and violence have been affecting the Caribbean at the Regional Crime Symposium in Trinidad.
I'm a Roman Catholic. The Catholic Church preaches that we should have the death penalty. And my mother was a Catholic, Legion of Mary. She taught me that we must not have the death penalty. I happen to think that both my mother and the Pope are wrong. For crimes, for murder, other than a crime of passion, you should get the death penalty. And the Europeans don't like that.
Dr. Gonsalves said the death penalty could be reintroduced to the punishment schedule of CARICOM countries if the court does not make it impossible to be carried out.
Everybody talks about this, but they talk about it behind closed doors. You don't hear it from a prime minister. Well, let us begin to talk about these things too.
Then there were concerns about judges in the Caribbean. Dr. Gonsalves believes the court system in the region is being controlled by criminal defense attorneys. He said individuals have the right to a fair trial and other constitutional protections, but
those constitutional protections cannot and do not mean that you must take a long time over a trial and give adjournments upon adjournments, and witnesses migrate and memories fade, and a lot of times you have to withdraw the prosecution because delay is part of the defense. And judges ought to know that.
And on the matter of law and order, the judges, we need to start rotating the use of judges and magistrates in the region to ensure that there is not the familiarity with counsel and other circumstances and the things that people take for granted.
Also appeals for changes to be made to how bail is granted in the Caribbean.
When I look at the stats, not just out of Bahamas, but in Barbados and all through the region, the people who are causing the greatest problems are charged with 2, 3, and 4 murders. Something is fundamentally wrong. So I ask myself 2 basic questions. 1, how are we going to deconstruct and reconstruct to meet the reality of this jurisprudential development that is undermining the rule of law in our countries?
As the symposium came to a close, Prime Minister of the host country, Dr. Keith Rowley, said he was satisfied with how the conversation progressed, but underscored that the real work begins now.
This process is going to have to continue until safety and security are restored to the people of the Caribbean. Have to be.
Kelisha Williams, TVJ News.
And the CARICOM leaders have intensified efforts to pressure the United States to control the flow of illegal guns to the region. Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, today announced that CARICOM will be sending a letter to the United States to outline its discontent. On Monday, it was declared that the United States is the main source of illegal guns coming into the region.
That letter will go to Washington, and I have the confidence that the United States President and his administration will understand the pain that we are feeling and be backing it up with evidence and solid information that this threat is not just real, it is being experienced, not as a threat alone, but enough of it has already been experienced.
We go to other news now. Jamaica has earned over $1.1 billion for the 2022-23 winter tourist season, which began on December 15, the best performance on record. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett gave the update in the House of Representatives today as he opened the sectoral debate. Andrea Chisholm has the details.
Another historic moment for Jamaica as the tourism sector continues to rebound from the COVID-19 pandemic.
This is the biggest and best winter season that Jamaica has ever had in the history of tourism. We brought in 1.185, nearly 1.2 million visitors. And that's 94.4% higher than last year. And we brought in the process 1.12 billion US dollars, which is 46.4% increase over last year.
Tax collections have also been going up.
Overall, during 2022, January to December, from the Tourism Enhancement Fund collections, from the airport charges and the direct taxes, I haven't even included head tax and the travel tax. Tourism contributed a total here of 51.7 billion
Jamaica welcomed roughly 3.3 million visitors in 2022, earning roughly 3.7 billion US dollars. By 2024, projections show Jamaica should get 3.8 million visitors while earning 4.1 billion US dollars. In the meantime, with many Jamaicans participating in the sector through, among other things, Airbnb rentals, the tourism minister has underscored the need for law and order.
Even though Jamaica is perceived in some quarters of having a challenge in terms of safety, the record shows that our record of visitor safety in Jamaica is enviable across the world, with a record of 0.1% of all the crimes committed against our visitors.
And with hotels grappling with a labor shortage, Minister Bartlett reiterated that the labor market study will assess a number of issues, including hiring arrangements, salaries, benefits, and training requirements.
We've established, Madam Speaker, a task force headed by Dr. Waller, and already we have put out the RFP for consultants to come in and for us to look carefully now at all the elements, bringing the trade unions and everybody else to let us look at the labor market arrangements in tourism so that we can find a path that will enable us to recover well.
Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.